Welcome to Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. Firstly, apologies for my voice. I lost it again last week, so I had to hang off making this video for a few days, but I did at least get out and do some shooting where I don't have to speak on camera. So I might have to cough on camera, but we shall see. This is the Steyr SM12. This is a seriously deluxe sporting rifle. In the UK, it costs just under £2,900, but it offers quite a unique look, in my opinion, to couple the beauty of walnut stock alongside the mechanics of the superb Steyr action, and most importantly, what I find to be rather consistent Steyr barrels. These barrels are cold hammer forged. You've got the spiral external finish on them that shows the way the cold hammer forging works. It's threaded at the muzzle for a brake or moderator. This is a 1/2 inch UNC, and the barrel is fully free floated. Now, although it's a slim walnut stock, it does remain floating at all times, and there's no problems with intermittent contact. While we're discussing it, it's got sling swivels at front and rear. You can of course swap the front one if you want to put a bipod on, but I chose to keep this one in its fairly classic looks and shoot it from a rest bag. The checkering on the stock is a rather beautiful sort of fish scale on the walnut, and this walnut shows fantastic grain on it. I mean, okay, it's not the super deluxe grade 5, grade 6, things like that, but you know, that's a lot of money for just a lot of knots and swirls, if you want to put it that way. But with this one, you get the fine styling, and you get what used to be sort of called a hog's back, but now it's more like they call it a Bavarian comb, I think, and it sort of blends very well on a sporting rifle with a modest size scope, because you do still get good cheek alignment on it behind the optic without it looking bulbous or cumbersome. And on the left side, you can see these nice grooves here, which just add that little bit of finesse to it. And it's a beautiful rifle to handle, and you will see in some pictures, it's one of those rifles I kind of wanted to carry just over my shoulder because it's light and it's got that slender look to it. So continuing on, barrel is 22 inches, which is 560 millimeters. This one's in a 308, but there are a lot of calibers, but the common ones like 243, 308, 65 Swede, 270, 3006, and there are a lot more sort of larger ones as well. And there's some interesting ones like 7mm08 too. The bolt handle has got Steyr's usual sort of spoon handle, I think they used to call it, but it has quite a distinct shape, and it's actually a 4-lug bolt. Just see, I can pop this out and show you. It's a 4-lug bolt, and it has about a 70-degree lift on the handle. Now, at the front we've got, the extractor claw here, and we've also got an ejector plunger there. So no problems with cycling rounds out the magazine or ejection, extraction, etc. I found the gun easy to use. I think it would smooth out even more were I to keep it longer, but this is quite an expensive deluxe rifle. It was brand new box fresh to me, and I didn't want to shoot it too much, but it works well on paper, and well, you can see the paper here. We'll look at that on the video as well, which you'll see. Now, looking at some of the functional controls, it's got a twin latch magazine on the bottom here. That takes 4 rounds, plus you can put one in the chamber. And that's not particularly, it's not picky in the way it goes in, it's easy to fit in and out, it doesn't sort of snag, it doesn't require being put in tail first or nose first in some kind of awkward way. It just clips in, clips out, nice, solid and secure. And you can, although the ejection port's quite slim, you can pop the rounds in directly through the ejection port, because being in 2 columns, it can top load, you don't need to slide them in for a front like a single stack magazine. That is something on a sporting rifle I really appreciate, because you can shoot off 1, 2, 3 rounds, have a pause and then think, okay, I'm just going to pop some up. But if you're wild boar shooting or something like that, you certainly don't want to be without a functional rifle, and you can literally take her out, off you go again. You're not like you've got to fumble to put a magazine in quickly. Let me tell you about the trigger. In standard mode, this is a 2-stage trigger, but it does have a single set option. So if you pull through the first stage on standard mode, you get a break. It's about 750 grams, 28 ounces or so. If you want to go single set, push it forwards, and then you've got a breaking weight of about 250 grams, which is 8 ounces. Now, I'm not always a fan of single set triggers. I think some of them are frighteningly light. This one actually, although it is light, it's actually a little bit more tactile, and you can get good perception of finger contact before it breaks. Now, in the winter, you may be going to be wearing gloves anyway, and probably in a more dynamic hunting environment, yes, I prefer it in the 2-stage mode as normal. But from the bench, a lot of people do like that super light trigger because they prefer it in a stable situation for shooting. And this one is consistent, and it is actually quite nice to use. So, well done Steyr, because you've upgraded a little bit there. Where the Steyr SM12 has changed significantly from previous guns from the Steyr stable is the safety catch. Whereas there used to be a roller on the tang here, this one now has a more conventional sort of forward back push on the tang. Now when you push forward and the bolt is closed as normal, that's safety off and the gun will fire. Open, recycle, off you go again. But when that's cocked, loaded, etc., if you press this little button on the back of the safety catch here, that will allow the safety catch to drop. And it isn't just a safety catch, it is a decocker. So as I cock the rifle, you'll see the cocked action indicator protrude just here off the back of the shroud. So uncocked, and now it's cocked, and there it is, the cocked action indicator. What's slightly unusual about this SM12 is that when it is decocked, the bolt will still open and operate, and you can still load and unload safely. You don't need to press any secondary controls to unlock it to operate the bolt handle. That doesn't really matter because the bolt handle is quite unobtrusive. It doesn't tuck down lower like some of the Steyrs do with the roller catch on the back, but it blends with the stock and you don't really have a problem snagging it on things. And bolt lift at about 70 degrees is just about the right weight to get a gun handle on it. Now, it doesn't have a spherical ball handle, which to be honest is one of my preferences, but you know, everybody horses for courses, and the Steyr is a very good looking rifle, which, you know, to some people is very important. You get a lovely blended feel of the action with a slight nose on the shroud at the rear, and it gives a great profile to the gun. This is a handed rifle. There are quite a lot of options in the Steyr range, and you can have synthetics, you can have full stocks, half stocks, you can have stainless, and you can also have left-handed options on some of the guns as well. Also, you can have open sights too. Now, this one is the right-handed model. I'm right-handed generally speaking, and it does show a slight right-handed palm swell, which I have to say is very comfortable and makes the gun very fast handling. For a driven game gun or for a woodland stalking rifle, this is the real kind of gun I like, because the wood stock doesn't resonate, you don't get any kind of reverberation through it, and I do feel that walnut absorbs recoil like nothing else. We all got used to recoil through walnut probably, and okay, synthetics have taken over, moderators, brakes, etc. have taken over. I shot this one without any accessories on it, just because I wanted to feel the purity of the rifle, because I think that does demonstrate a beautifully pure rifle. And with a predictable trigger, you've got It's sort of medium recoil pad on the back. It's got a couple of slightly softer spots here to just absorb a little bit more, and it's also got butt spacers. Length of pull is 370mm, which is 14.6 inches, and of course with the space there you could have more spaces if you want, or if you're having the gun fitted to yourself, you can of course have the stock shortened and re-profiled to fit that recoil pad. That's entirely up to you. The fish scale checkering is through the grip, so it's very tactile again, as like the palm swell. It fits beautifully in your hand, and there's also a nice grip cap on the bottom with the Steyr logo. Overall length is 1105mm or 43.5 inches. The rifle shows a 4-lug bolt with 70mm lift, and it has a 114mm stroke. Overall weight is 3.3 kilograms or 7.3 pounds. The barrel diameter is 17mm at the muzzle. It's screw cut for a moderator or muzzle brake 1/2 inch UNC. Barrel length is 22 inches or 560mm. So what can I tell you about it? Well, it's a very nice rifle. It's in that middle ground now, because rifles of a beautiful design with, you know, those kind of timeless looks to them are slightly less common now. People either want a cheaper rifle with synthetic stock, which is, you know, a very tough everyday tool to do a job. In fairness, a walnut stock is far more easily damaged, and of course you have to be careful somewhat of getting it too wet or drying it out too quickly. And, you know, great, synthetic rifles are beautiful for that, but certainly in Europe and the driven hunts you do still see far more of the sort of classically styled rifles, because in the same way as a fine game gun is different to a clay pigeon shooting gun, looks do matter, and it's the joy of ownership in something like this. And I still think Steyr barrels are some of the most consistent there are. The Cold Hammer Forge, they're one of the oldest cold hammer forging companies there are out there for barrels, and I love this external barley twist finish. I think it really just is the brand of Steyr, with that barrel, that bolt handle, and it shows the gun you are shooting to everybody else. In terms of stock, feel and alignment, the alignment on it is perfect for a sporting rifle. I've got a 44mm scope on here, which is a Zeiss V4. I think that suits it perfectly, and for a hill rifle, or, you know, even a woodland rifle in a high seat, that's going to work beautifully. It carries well. If you were going for wild boar, perhaps you'd probably maybe put a 1:6 or maybe even a red dot on it. That 1:6 would be my preference, and it's got separate bases that screw to the action. So on this one I've got Weaver bases fitted to it, but you can put a multitude of different bases or a rail on it to suit whatever you need. You can put a Picatinny rail on it, so that would fit anything you needed, from red dot for wild boar, or up to a thermal for going foxing if you had it in a suitable calibre as that. There are quite a lot of unusual European calibers, which I haven't listed down because it just goes on forever. But in terms of the common UK desirable calibers, we've got 243, we've got 708, 65 Swede, 308, 3006. Then you move up into the bigger magnums, and you've got some of the more, like I say, unusual European calibers too. Well, thank you for watching this review. Please like, subscribe, comment, don't forget to click the notification bell. And you'll also notice I'm running an advert for the British Shooting Show next year in February 2023. So please click on the notification at the end of the actual video, because it will take you on a direct link to the site if you want to buy tickets. And remember, this year, car parking is included in the ticket price. So please come along to the show, and hopefully I might even see you there, because I intend to be there all 3 days of the show. Right, thank you for watching. Bye for now.